Hey there, Hoshpap here, back for some more LEGO Legacy, this time talking about the Collection Journey Brickspace event. Now all of this was recorded day one when the event came out a couple of weeks ago, but I just haven't really had time to sit down and go through and edit the video. So here we are today. This video will be an overview of me playing through the missions from the first part of the event. There will be a couple more of these going through the later stages, as some of those require their own video. But since the first set of stages can be finished with lower level characters, I thought it would be a good idea just to stick them all into one video. Also definitely going to be skipping through a few stages and just showing highlights, because otherwise this would be over an hour long and you don't want to sit here for an hour watching me go through each stage one at a time. Now speaking of stages, the first stage was actually very interesting because it didn't allow you to choose any of the minifigures you wanted to take in. It gave you a preset team. Although stupidly, I didn't change the set, but it doesn't matter. It's the first stage, it's easy enough. And this one had quite a lot of enemies to it as well, a bunch of skeletons at the beginning, and then a random assortment of other minifigures at the end. It took some time to clear through them as they had two characters with taunt, but in the end we managed to get through the bunch, and that's stage 1 completed. On to stage 2. Now because I was racing through these, I completely forgot to change the set again. I think this is actually going to keep going on until much further on in the video. And I also didn't change any figures manually. I'm not sure if we could have done here, because sometimes they do make it so you have to take certain ones in, because it's a themed event. But yeah, we could have probably taken some different guys in, if we wanted to. After defeating all the skeletons, along came the space team. So we just have to clear through these, and then we will meet the final enemies afterwards. Defeating Spaceman Reed made the next set of minifigures come forward. Some of them are from space, but we've actually got two that aren't, such as the Clockwork Robot and the Crook Chuck guy. But they are no match for our team either and are easily smashed to pieces. Next up is 1.H1, so we can start looting the Chicken Suit Guy node. We actually figured out we could change our minifigures this time, so we swapped over to one of our arena teams. This should make things very easy to beat this node. These enemies are castle themed, but they're no match for our arena team. With that comes 1.3, very mixed team. Once again though, no challenge for us and we beat it with ease. Now for the second hard node, 1.H2, so we can unlock the demo dummy tile. This one is pirate themed, so loads of pirates. What's funny is we can use Garmadon's AoE attack. Usually this is useful to heal him because it restores his health pretty much to max, but it also deals damage to everyone, and since they have low health, bye bye minifigures. With that completed, time to do some other normal nodes. With 1.4 there's a lot of skeletons at the beginning, with more castle enemies coming afterwards. And then 1.5 is largely city themed, but it does throw in a bunch of other types of minifigures as well, like space and castle. 1.6 starts off with a bunch of random minifigures and a dojo set, so maybe we'll face some Ninjago enemies later. And no, surprisingly just ice themed minifigures. I guess that's why it's picked the ice biome map, but why the dojo set? Oh well, I'm not going to complain, another easy win. Now for the third hard node, 1.H3, where we can start to loot the tile for the corn cob guy. This one is very important for us to get today. Now this one has forced us to actually pick the collectible tagged minifigures, so it selected some for us and we can swap this one around. So we're just going to go with the fitness instructor, and we forgot to swap the set again because we're not paying attention. It shouldn't matter though, but if these were harder nodes I can't keep making this mistake. It's always these things you see when looking back. Because I'm commentating over this after the fact, it's a lot easier to see the mistakes that were made. Oh well, I'm sure there are like some buffs, maybe, that this set provides, but it doesn't matter. Look how much damage we're dealing to them. That AoE attack just took out a bunch of health on these enemies. This wave is funny, there's 5 of the same minifigure, 5 Burnabuses. Since they're a tank hero, they don't really deal much damage, so they're not really much of a threat. We just take them out one at a time. Seems to be a common theme with this particular battle, since the last wave is 3 Just-A-Go-Go's. This one will be interesting because when they taunt, they heal each other if you damage them, so we got to take them out one at a time. And with that, node completed. Another normal node, 1.7, is next, although this one also has the collectible tags, so we can only take collectible minifigures in with us. We're just going to leave it on the default again, let them pick what they want to pick, and we're actually going to keep the fitness instructor since we'll be able to alternate between the attack up ability. I wonder when it will be when I notice this and actually swap it. I'm not sure myself. Lots of Ninjago minifigures to start off with, and seems to stay in that theme throughout the whole level. Takes a bit of time to clear through them. Our only big damage dealer is really the Highwayman, but we do it without any casualties and manage to get gold. Going to go for the final hard node, 1.H4. Since we can swap two minifigures, I decided to keep Fitness Instructor but then swap off the Clockwork Robot for Hiker, as his healing is a lot more reliable. Now they gave us a Yuppie that we have to use, but I'm going to use my one since by the looks of it, it was more level than theirs. Seems to be at the start a big mix of many different minifigures. There's like Ninjago, Castle, there's a space one, a lot of everything. 18 enemies to defeat too, this is a big wave. But step by step we defeat each one in turn until eventually we manage to beat the lot and finish this node. So that means we've got all of the hard nodes completed on stage 1. Final node of the first part, 1.8, a kernel of truth. We managed to actually remember to swap off the set this time, so we're going to go and pick the lighthouse since that works quite well with collectible minifigures. And we're going to keep the ones that it suggested. Obviously some we can't swap off anyway, but it seemed to be quite a well-balanced team with some damage dealers, healers, and tanks. First time trying the wrestling minifigure, so that will be cool. As usual though, I think we are still over-leveled for this particular node, so we're dealing much more damage compared to usual. There's a lot of enemies to clear through, but our team is just making this very easy. We're not even having to heal at all, which is kind of funny. Maybe didn't have to worry about bringing Hiker after all, could have just taken another damage dealer. But with that, the first stage has been completed, and now on to stage 2, where I think it'll start to get a lot harder. First up is 2.H1, Sorcery, which is a castle node. Thankfully we have quite a lot of castle characters, including Willa and Basil, so this should make it quite easy. It was tricky knowing who to take as the 5th character. Decided to take Jester Go-Go as it's another tank, and when he gets damaged he can heal everyone else. If I had another damage dealer leveled up to 60, I could have probably done with taking them instead, as between Majesto and Basil's healing ability, I don't think I needed another tank that did the same thing, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Now what we are fighting against seems to be a city-themed team. It has the ice glider, so I'm guessing a lot of Auroras might show up later on. But for now it is not that difficult to get rid of this set of minifigures. After the first wave has been defeated, the second wave shows up. It actually has a couple of minifigures that aren't city-themed, like Majesto and one of the Ghostbusters. Getting rid of Majesto first means no healing, as well as no annoying fireball spell, like we're doing here to them. Although I saw an Aurora pop up, so we're going to have to target her down next as well, because we don't want her reviving anyone. Especially with the Ice Glider, it means as soon as you defeat a minifigure, she can pretty much use her ability to revive someone on the next turn straight away. Oh, she's getting healed up a bit there by Poppy, and now we have to deal with these taunts. Luckily though, we have an ultimate ability that gets rid of all buffs, so there go your taunts, goodbye. We can now just target down Aurora and she's gone. Although, another Aurora popped up, because that's just how it works. It seems to be a theme here. We kind of guessed it earlier. We thought a lot of Auroras might show up, and there we go. Now unfortunately their Officer Primo had their ability ready, or the ultimate ready, and it got rid of our taunts as well as some other things I think. But that's okay. We're doing well so far. We just need to get rid of these minifigures and we've beaten the node. Now it took a bit of time as we don't have a high damage team. We have mostly tanky minifigures. I think Ghost is our biggest damage dealer, outside of maybe Majesto's ultimate hitting stuff. So it took a bit of time to burn through all the tanks, but we did get through it, especially since we got rid of Aurora, so no healing, no reviving. That made it infinitely easier. And then, eventually, we did clear the node. And we got gold, since we didn't lose any minifigures. Alright, so that's going to be it for part 1. In part 2, we'll deal with some of the other nodes, which, even though there's not many left, they took me quite a while to beat some of them, so we're going to need another video, otherwise this will just drag on for ages. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time, where we will be beating this city node.